Hi, this is Danny Palacio, and I'm so glad that you've joined me. Um, in this episode 11, I am going to explore numbers. So, numbers are fascinating to me. They always have been. And I have been following this one woman's blog for, oh my goodness, I want to say like 20 years. At least it feels that way. I don't actually know when I started or when I found her. But the study of numbers or the practice of numbers is called numerology. And you can find all kinds of things about numerology. This is what I love about our current life is that you can Google it, you can go to the bookstore, you can get an audiobook, you can probably attend a master class in it. And so today my intent is to familiarize yourself with what is numerology, although I'm not a numerologist, definitely not that. I am a hobbyist, and I love looking at numbers, especially when they repeat themselves in my life. Like, have you ever noticed all of a sudden you start to see a particular number and then you see it again and you start to see it again and you see it and then you see it everywhere? And yes, it could be like the phenomenon of you buy a red car and you see red cars everywhere. It could be that. But I also, on a spiritual level, on my more woo-woo side, I love to think about what is the meaning? What is the universe trying to get me a message? Um, and so how do you do that? I mean, like if you want to take on that practice of, yeah, I actually have been seeing numbers repeatedly in my life, not just on the clock, but like on billboards at a store, you go to pay for something and it's exactly that number. Um, and I have all kinds of fun practices with them. So I thought I'd start with a story, a couple of stories around my experience with numbers as to try and give you some ideas. Excuse me. So one of my favorite numbers to see is 11. This is episode 11. So I thought it was timely around doing numbers. And when I see 1111, I always think, oh, that is an opportunity, an invitation for me to see something about myself that I haven't seen, or that the universe, spirit, the creator wants me to recognize about who I am. Maybe a new quality, maybe a new way I'm doing something. And so I love that number. I also love the number 33 because my birth date adds up to 33. And a master number, you don't add the two last numbers, which we'll get into a little bit more. And then I think one of the funnest experiences with numbers is when I see them in a sequence. 1, 2, 3. I love it when I catch 12:34 in the afternoon. I'm usually not up at 12:34 a.m. But when I see 1, 2, 3, 4, or any sequence of numbers that go in order, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4. So it tells me, for me, and I think I've read it somewhere, which is why I believe this, but it tells me I'm going in the right direction. Yeah, I'm going in the right direction. Because sometimes I wonder, am I doing the right thing? Am I going in the right direction? Am I spending my energy and time in the right things? And when I see a sequence of numbers moving, in sequence order, 1, 2, 3, 4, I absolutely get that feeling of like, I am moving in the right direction. So numbers are super fun and they're unlimited, right? Like you can stick with 1 through 10, which a lot of people do, or 0 through 10. But then you get into all the others, and then you get into numbers that are 3 numbers, and then 4 numbers, and then 5 numbers, and 6 numbers, and 7 numbers. And it can go on and on. Joanne from Sacred Scribe, I'm going to give you her website, and I highly recommend you go there. She's, again, had it forever. And I find her information to be insightful and meaningful. She not only gives you angel numbers, but master numbers. She gives you insights. And then she also gives you additional information about what a particular topic might mean that you might not understand. And she's self-funded and she does services. I have to admit, I have never booked a service with her, but I have sent her tons of gratitude over the last several years of when I was really pondering, or when 555, another number, because I was born on the 5th. And so 5 is I love 5 because of that, just because I was born on it. And when I looked up what 5 meant, it was like new beginnings. It was like, you're going to have change and it's going to be good and it's going to have new beginnings. So when I see 555, I am like, yeah, bring it on. Let's have some new fun change. And so quickly you can start to learn about your life too, right? So birth dates are really important. Some people think birth time is important. I agree with that. What else? Anniversaries, of course, are one of those things that come up. Oh, your address, your home number, you know, what is it and what does it add up to? And if it's a master number, don't add it together. So what I mean by that is typically you add up all your numbers and you want to get to a single digit. Like I said, 0 to, 9, because 10 would be a 1. And it's easier to understand 0 through 9, and it's something that you can remember and you can learn and then you can practice. But if it adds up to an 11, a 22, a 33, those are master numbers. I subscribe to the idea that 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, 99 are all master numbers too, because they are a combination of the 11, the 22, and the 33. And so you can look at it from different perspectives, but on the blog site that I've been mentioning, I pointed over there because it's on my other screen. She actually keeps them and gives you a definition of what 66 might mean. And so have some fun with it. Like, add up your address. What is it? What could it signify? Look it up. You can even just Google it. What is the angel number 8 mean? Or what does the number, you don't even have to say angel. What does the number 143 mean? Which I think most of you know. 143 is the number for love. So, and if you didn't know that, Google it. It's pretty fun. Yeah. So 143 is the number that is represented for saying love. And if you start to think about it, numbers have always been important. They've always been around, obviously. We use them for so many things. If you're at all scientific, engineering focused, medically aware, numbers become super important. Obviously, in space, aerodynamics, numbers are critical, and particular numbers and angles become even more critical. So numbers have been around since the beginning of time, I feel like. And I would love to explore, like, in the world, what numbers are important, right? Like what, especially in the spiritual world, there seems to be quite a few, but I have a few that I pay attention to. So 108, and don't quote me on being an absolute expert in this, but my understanding is that 108 was the number of mantras said in prayers in more Eastern related religions and traditions. So I've introduced that I wear a mala. It has 108 beads. And I know that I have a friend who's a master feng shui, and she always says 108 when she's doing her prayers and her clearings and all of that. 108 times it's said. And so really wonderful number, right? I mean, it has such good meaning. 33 also becomes important because in the Christian tradition, Jesus lived for 33 years on the earth. And so 33 is a spiritual number of beautiful mastery. In spirituality, we call them ascended masters. And those are archetypes or actual people like Jesus or who else is ascended masters? Saint Germain, Metatron, Melchizedek. They're all forms of ascended masters. There's also a lot of women ascended masters like Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene. And they got the name ascended master because they've either lived a really amazing life and they have so much to show us and give us examples with, or they are so mystical and unquantifiable that they are masters in what they were focused on. And ascended, I don't know about all of that, but I do know that ascended typically means that the person, the spirit, even sometimes the body is ascended into the ethers. I don't know about the body part. Definitely the energy, because we're all energy and we return to energy when we leave our human form. So, but I do love that idea of ascended masters. I even have a card deck called Ascended Masters, and I enjoy reading them. I enjoy learning about these archetypes, these people, these beings that came before us, and have an opportunity to teach us. We don't have to believe it, but we can at least be open to the possibility of it. So back to numbers. The world has recently, I think it's been around forever, but the world has recently become more accepting of, like, there's a thing called Lionsgate, and it always happens on August 8th. And so this year, August 8th, 2024, when you add up 2024, it's an 8. So this entire year has an energy of 8. And 8 represents abundance, infinity, because it's the infinity, but standing up, that sign, that symbol. And it is never ending, right? That infinity idea of, like, you are eternal. And in your eternalness, you have the capacity to know and understand and have abundance. And it's also around connection with another. I have some dear friends that were married on 8/8, and I have friends that were born on 8/8. And there is something beautiful about that eternal, connected, never ending abundance. It often gets added on with love, devotion. And so to this year, 8/8 in August was an 8. So it's an 8/8/8 because 2024 is an 8. And you'll hear from people around the new year. What does this next year represent? Well, 2025 will be a 9 year. And nines are, well, they're a complicated number for me personally, I have to admit. They're fantastic because it means that something is ending and a new beginning is starting. And that's wonderful. But when things end, it can be challenging. It can be stressful. It can be that you're going to go on a deep journey of exploration and resolution around a particular topic, a person, a place, an experience, a belief. And so 2025 is jam-packed with that because the whole year is a 9. And just because one number exists in a year, there are all kinds of other numbers that can add to it and can bring in insight, clarity. It can even cause a little jarring, like, what? I'm not sure I want that. And I think that's okay too. Again, remember, we're playing with this concept of numbers. And so, are they significant to you? Do they mean anything to you? Do you want them to mean anything to you? These are all your choices. You by no means have to subscribe to the idea that 1, 2, 3, 4 means you're moving in the right direction. That's just something that works for me, and I invite you to explore it. All right. So I thought, since this is more focused on master numbers, that I would share with you what 11, 22, and 33 actually mean. And I'm using the verbiage and words from Joanne's Sacred Scribes website. Again, that is linked down below. I also included a resource on numerology and astrology, and those are really fun to look at because obviously astrology has numbers in it. And so adding the astrological perspective and the belief system with the numerology perspective and belief system, you get a really wonderful, interesting, complex exploration of what something could mean or why it's showing up for you in your life. And the other one is there's a website called numerology.com. It's quite good. All three that I've listed, I have used over the years. So have fun with those. All right. What does master number 11? And for those of you watching, I am going to be reading. So my eyes might move around. I will move the text over here so it's a little easier. So the karmic master number 11 symbolizes the principles of spiritual awakening and enlightenment. It also includes high energy, idealism, inspiration, and intuition. It's often called the illumination number or the illuminator, the messenger, or the teacher. And I've always heard 11, this is from me, I've always heard that 11, if you think about it, it's 1 plus 1. So, and you don't add them up. So it's I see you and you see me. So I must be able to see myself. There's a introspective inner knowing, and it's an opportunity to stand in that energy, that vibration, and really ask some good questions about what's going on in your life. And it relates to those who are here to be inspirational guiding lights. And that's what was written on Joanne's site. And their mission is to bring illumination to others and to help raise the spiritual awareness of those around and the planet itself. So 11 is a really beautiful, powerful number. It is a more introspective, self-related number. And then number 22, and basically it's the number 2 appearing twice, obviously, but it amplifies what number 2 is related to, which is your divine life purpose and soul mission. It also has to do with duality and balance. So 2, the 1 and 2, the forms of opposite and duality, and then finding the balance within that. 2 is often related to relationships and partnerships. And master number 22 carries the energies and attributes of diplomacy, intuition, and emotion, balance, harmony, adaptability, personal power, because 2 is that soul purpose. So a soul mission of what why you're here. And so if you can tap into that and you amplify it to 22, then how do you move through that? How do you bring your mission to life? Well, diplomacy is a big part of it. Being able to go in emotionally, intuitively, bring balance and harmony, that requires the ability to have discretion and diplomacy in what you're trying to do. Number 22 overall is a number of power and accomplishment. So it is a master number, which is why I'm going through these, because there's some numbers that mean something so significant that if you don't know about it, I think it's really good to explore and open up your mind to it. And again, find your own inner truth around it. Okay, number 33, of course, is made up of number 3. It, of course, again, like 22, amplifies the influences of a number 3. So I mentioned before that this often is related to ascended masters. And so you can think of them as like angels as another way of thinking of them, even though they're defined a little bit differently. So the master number 33 is master teacher. And it resonates so that you have energies of compassion, blessings, inspiration, honesty, discipline, bravery, and courage. These are all attributes of when 33 pops up. And it also lets people know that all things are possible. there's this hopeful, bright possibility in 33 that hopefully will give you peace and inspiration to know that if you're struggling and you see a 33 somewhere, that, oh, wow, I think the universe is trying to tell me that there's hope, that there is an opportunity to have greater love, more compassion, blessings, inspiration. And so Ascended Masters, in Joanne's definition, she talks about them as they surround you and are offering their assistance. So you can, again, that's why I say sometimes you can just view them like angels, because that's kind of the same definition of an angel, is that angels are around you and they're waiting for you to ask, please help me, please clear the path so that I can move forward. And they get into action. As soon as you request, they move in. And so again, Ascended Masters are the same way. They're waiting for you to ask them. And even if you don't know who they are, even if you just use the term Ascended Masters, whoever is around me, Ascended Masters, please help me. Please help me move through this, experience, this belief system, this challenging decision that I'm about to have, and see if you don't feel a little bit more supported. I have a feeling you will. Wow, this has been fun. And I always feel like I'm going so fast, but I just get so excited about new information and new numbers. And so again, a couple quick things to remember. Numbers are numbers. Numbers could mean significant things if you choose to subscribe to that particular belief. When you're talking about master numbers, you're talking about 11, 22, and 33. And if you subscribe to my belief system, then you're talking about all the doubles, 44, 55, 66, 77, and so on. And numbers, again, are playful. We don't want to jump into, oh, Danny talked about numbers and oh my God, I have to learn about all of this. I have not, quote unquote, studied numbers or numerology. I have always used it with playfulness. And through that playfulness and that curiosity, I have learned what numbers are representing, what they could be representing, what they're asking. So enjoy the mystery, enjoy the fun, and let me know what numbers you keep seeing, because they're always fascinating. I know that when I'm at the grocery store and I'm checking out and the number of the bill is like a solid number, like one time I got $77, no cents. And when there's no cents, I think that's a really, wow, it was meant to be. I was supposed to buy all these groceries. Or when the bill is master numbers combined, like 3311, I'm like, whoa, this is like a definitive or divine moment. And it just makes life a little more interesting, a little more fun. I have to say that I don't, how do I want to say that? I guess I don't take a number and being like, since I saw that number, it has to be true. I think more of it as, wow, I saw that number. I wonder what this could mean for me. And so I want to invite you into that perspective of numbers. You will meet other people that swear by numbers and numerology, and I love their devotion. I love their conviction. There are things in my life that I swear by, and that's great because it works for me. So I am, again, so grateful that you joined. This is a fairly short podcast today episode, but I don't want to overwhelm with numbers. And I think I shared enough information that will hopefully pique your interest. And again, the 3 resources that I really enjoy are listed below in the summary note. So if you're listening, go back to YouTube or to Spotify and click on some of these links to explore what numbers could mean for you. Thank you so much. And please continue to share with your friends and family. It is the best way for me to get known and to share my love and my insights. And so I appreciate you. Thank you.